Paris. You think you know her. But this. Symbol of romance. It was all a lie. They hated it. And it was built to be destroyed. France is bruised, defeated in war. They need a win.
Peace. The government wants a showstopper for the World's Fair.
They wanted the tallest building on Earth. 1,000 feet. Impossible. And honestly, it looked ugly. A giant skeletal pylon. Eiffel wasn't interested.
Until an architect added the curves, the arches, the style. Now, Eiffel saw the glory. He bought the patent. It was his tower now.
But Paris revolted! The Committee of 300 formed!
Listen to this. A giddy, ridiculous tower, dominating Paris like a gigantic black smokestack.
He said, "It's the only place in Paris where I don't have to look at the damn thing."
Eiffel ignored them. But he couldn't ignore the mud.
The site was a swamp, right next to the Seine. If the foundation slipped, the tower would kill thousands.
How do you dig a hole in water? You don't. You use air. Eiffel brought in caisson.
Giant, airtight metal boxes. They sank them into the mud.
Compressed air was pumped in to force the water out. Inside, it was hell. High pressure.
Four concrete feet. The anchor.
Now for the Lego set. 18,000 pieces made 5 kilometers away.
Eiffel was obsessed with precision. 0.1 millimeter tolerance.
No welding. Rivets. 2.5 million of them. As this cools, it shrinks.
It hugs the iron so tight it becomes one piece. It was a dance. The heater, the catcher, the holder, the hammerer.
The legs started to rise. But they were weird.
They leaned at 54 degrees. Gravity wanted to pull them down.
Huge wooden forests were built just to hold them up. If the angles are off, the bolt holes won't line up.
They got there. And they were slightly off. Hydraulic jacks. He could lift 4,000 tons with a hand pump. He tilted the massive legs. Just a tiny bit.
The first floor was safe. But now, the next was gone.
Imagine this. Winter, freezing wind, and you are walking on an icy beam 4 inches wide.
12 hours a day. No harnesses. The press called them the Suicide Club.
Everyone expected bodies to rain down. September 1888. The workers had enough. They went on strike.
We have a gradual raise structure. The higher you work, the more you stand to earn.
The strike ended in 3 days. They went back to the clouds.
In 2 years of construction, how many died? Hundreds? 1. Just 1.
He snuck in on a Sunday to impress his girlfriend. He lost his balance. A tragedy, but not an accident.
They reached the second level. But now, Eiffel faced a new nightmare.
The legs are curved. How do you put an elevator in a curved tube? Elevators go straight up.
If they curve, the pistons break.
The French companies said it was impossible. They quit. Eiffel had to call the Americans.
Otis. Otis designed a car that acted like a funicular railway. It changed angles as it rose.
Every step was documented. It was a mechanical masterpiece. But it was late.
The clock was ticking. The World's Fair was months away. The winter of 1888 was brutal.
At 200 meters, the wind isn't a breeze. It's a punch in the face.
Still, they hammered. 600 rivets a day.
March 1889. The final pieces. The Campanile. The noise stopped. The dust settled. So Eiffel made the politicians walk.
All 1,710 steps. Most of them gave up at the first platform. But Eiffel? He was 56. He didn't stop.
He reached the summit.
He unfurled a massive French flag.
It was done. The tallest building in human history.
The fair opened. And the haters.
They went silent. Because the world fell in love. Eiffel paid off the construction costs in 1 year. He was rich, famous, generous, and a female host of Caucasian descent, appearing to be in her 20s, with long, wavy blonde hair, had a private apartment.
It was a triumph of science. But remember the contract? Eiffel only had a permit for 20 years. Tick-tock. 1909 was coming.
The deal was clear. In 1909, the Iron Lady was scheduled for execution.
She was going to be sold for scrap metal.
He turned the tower into a giant laboratory.
Gravity experiments weren't enough. He needed something invisible. Radio.
And just in time, a world war was coming.
1909. The lease is up. The wrecking ball is ready. But Eiffel plays his ace card.
Radio. The military needed high ground to send signals. The tower was the perfect antenna. It could talk to ships in the Atlantic.
Don't touch it! It's strategic now!
1914, war explodes. The Iron Lady puts on a uniform.
The tower became a spy station. They intercepted German codes.
One intercepted message changed history. The German army is halting.
It allowed the French to launch a surprise attack. The taxis of the Marne.
Paris was saved. After the war, the tower needed money. So, it became the world's biggest billboard, 250,000 light bulbs. It was so bright.
Charles Lindbergh used it to find Paris. But the craziest story isn't about lights.
The smoothest con artist in history, 1925. He invited scrap metal dealers to a secret meeting.
Lustig took the cash, a fortune, and fled to Vienna.
The buyer was so embarrassed, he never went to the police. So Lustig tried to sell it again.
But the laughter stopped in 1940. The Nazis were coming. France fell. But the French workers had a surprise. Snip.
They cut the elevator cables. They said, "Sorry, no spare parts because of the war."
1944. The Allies are close. Hitler is furious.
Is Paris burning? Burn it all. The tower, too.
Explosives were placed on the bridges, on the monuments, on the tower.
He looked at the beauty of Paris. He disobeyed the order.
He couldn't go down in history as the man who murdered history. August 25, 1944. Liberation.
French firemen climbed the stairs under fire.
They tore down the Nazi sign. The tricolor flew again.
She survived the haters, the lease, the con artists, and the Nazis.
Peace returned. The tower became a global celebrity.
Bond chased a villain on it. But celebrity requires makeup. Lots of it.
Rust is the enemy. Every 7 years, she gets a full paint job. No spray guns, brushes only. To protect the rivets. And it's not one color. It's darker at the bottom, lighter at the top. It's an optical illusion to make it look uniform against the sky.
She survived the 20th century. Now, she had to welcome the new millennium.
New Year's Eve, 1999. The world watched Paris. She's not just a light show. She's a dancer.
Hit that subscribe button. We are climbing higher next time.